Good morning, Gambians, wherever you are. Today we are in the biometric enrollment center where we met with Mr. Touré to talk about certain issues concerning the enrollment of biometric passport for the Gambians in the diaspora. Mr. Touré, good morning. Welcome to Global Rainbow TV.
Thank you very much, Mr. Touré Dombai, for having me.
Can you tell us your role in this process?
Okay, thank you very much again. I represent Africa. I'm the executive director of Africa, and Africa is the company that has been contracted by government to produce the biometric passport.
Okay. When you come to enrollment of biometric passport to the Gambians in the diaspora, how important is this to the Gambians, especially the immigrants that are living in the diaspora? How important is this to them?
Well, it's extremely important because, as you may know, the passport is a travel document, and ICAO regulates international travel documents, and more, the biometric passport is becoming the document that is recognized and acceptable for crossing borders. So we already introduced this in the Gambia, and people in the country are getting the biometric passport. But to get the biometric passport, you have to be physically present because your biometric data needs to be collected, meaning your fingerprints, your face, your eyelids, and so on. And these are embedded in the chip that is in the passport. Now, people in the diaspora may have some constraints in traveling home to come and obtain the biometric passport. So government decided that part of the project should include having to move out to allow the Gambians in the diaspora to also have access to the biometric passport. Now, what we intend to do, as clearly stated in the agreement, is to establish fixed enrollment centers. That means, for instance, if you have a center in Madrid, people anywhere in Europe could go to Madrid and obtain it. If you have in Brussels, in UK, in America, the same.
Okay.
But before getting there, we decided to do what is called mobile enrollment, meaning you go to centers where Gambians are mostly concentrated and give them the opportunity to enroll.
Okay. Since you started this enrollment in the diaspora, I made to understand the enrollment started in Spain. What are some of the encouragement, or what are some of the things that really encourage you in Spain because the enrollment started there? Were you happy about the enrollment of the Gambians in Spain?
Well, yeah, I mean, we chose to start with Spain because of the fact that there are many Gambians living there. Of course, Italy also, there are many Gambians in Italy. But Spain is a borderline country. Most of the immigrants that come to Europe start from Spain. And those are undocumented immigrants, and that put pressure on us to really start with Spain, where we have most undocumented immigrants. The program was very successful. I think something like 700 or so were enrolled during the first trip to Spain.
Okay.
And it went on very smoothly.
Okay.
Of course, we had some challenges here and there, but being the first step and being the first experience for mobile enrollment overseas, we expected that we might, be confronted with some challenges. And we learned from that, and that is why Italy now, where we are, is having, less challenges.
Okay. From Spain, you went to Gambia. We just want to know whether those people in Spain who were enrolled, whether some of them got their passport, because I made to understand Africa tell them that, within 14 days they are going to receive their passport. Did they receive their passport as agreed?
Yes, certainly. All the people who were enrolled in Spain, the passports were printed and sent within the period that we committed ourselves. All of them maybe did not get their passports because there might have been some files that had problems.
Okay.
And if that is the case, those problems need to be resolved before the passports are printed and sent back to them. But yes, by and large, everybody who enrolled, most of the people who enrolled got their passports on time.
Okay, and when we come to Italy, you started enrollment in Milano, from there to Rome, from there to Bari right now in Bari. In Italy, what are some of the challenges you normally have? Did Gambians turn up to come and do this enrollment passport?
First of all, let me confirm that in Milan, some 270 something were enrolled, and those passports, as we speak, are printed. Except for the few that might have had some issues. But those that were straightforward and approved, and they have all been printed, and probably within 10-day period, they will get their passports in Milan. Rome have also been approved, and we will meet the target as well in terms of delivery period.
Okay.
Now, coming to the challenges, I think the most challenge we face in Italy is people having not paid online before the arrival of the team. That is very important because it means when the team is here, they straight away go into verification, interview, and enrollment. But we found out that so many people either could not go do the payment through the platform, or they didn't have the Master or Visa cards. But whilst we were here, we were able to help 90% of them to make their payments. But what we learned from that is we need to probably look at more easier and payment-friendly options. Because for now, you go online and use Visa or MasterCard. Moving forward, we are looking at different options so that it could be easier for people to pay, like bank deposit. You go to the bank and deposit into the account that will be designated, or using Apple Pay, or even we're thinking of having the machine, the mobile machine, where you just swipe your card and the payment is taken, rather than having to go through putting your name, your email address, your card details, and all these things. So we learn from this, and then we are really prepared and committed to making it easier for everybody.
Okay, as you rightly mentioned, in near future, there could be plan for Africa, or the commitment of the government may go to other countries to enroll Gambians for the biometric passport issues. Like there are different people in different countries. In near future, what are your plans to reach to those people?
The plan is to have fixed centers in different parts of the world.
Okay.
For instance, in Europe, if we are able to establish 2 centers, fixed centers, where immigration personnel are present to do the enrollment, then anybody from anywhere in Europe can travel to those centers and get enrolled, right? The same for the Americas, the same for the United Kingdom, the same could happen for other parts of Africa. So that is that would be the solution. Because the mobile enrollment moving forward, moving to country, it's not only costly, but of course, everybody expects the team to go to you. And that is also practically not possible. But if you have fixed centers scattered around the globe, then people can move to those centers and get enrolled. That is the medium to long-term plan.
As long as biometric passport enrollment is concerned, how can you describe the commitment of the Gambian government towards the Gambians in the diaspora?
Well, absolutely, they are committed to ensuring that Gambians in the diaspora have access to the biometric passport. As I said, the biometric passport is really the document of the times, and everybody everywhere should really have access to it. So the government is committed, and that is why not only have they identified a qualified company to handle this, but they are also doing everything to make sure that the project is implemented properly. And as I told you, there are provisions to really open fixed centers around. And I think that is a show of high commitment on the part of the government to ensure that people cannot come to the Gambia, but they can still have access to the service.
Well, if that has to be done, how do you know this particular person is a Gambian? How do you know, especially during enrollment, how do you know certain that this particular person is a citizen of the Gambia? Don't you think, some of the foreigners could come and, take our biometric passport? What are some of the criteria that no, this person is from Gambia?
First of all, the role of Africa is not to determine who is a Gambian or who is eligible or not eligible.
But they are also responsible because the biometric passport issues, they are the people who are handling it.
No, my point is our role is not to determine
Who is
eligibility of having a Gambian passport. That is the role of immigration, who are trained and qualified, and that is why you have the interview process. When we move to centers, the first step is, after making the payment, you go and face the immigration panel, who will do the interview.
That means during the process, you have immigration officers that will interview people to ascertain he or she is a Gambian.
In fact, I am the only one. We are two from Africa who are in this mission. The rest of the people you see there are immigration officers. Maybe they are not in uniform, that's why you don't recognize them. But they are led by a commissioner and the superintendents who are properly trained and qualified to interview people and to determine whether they are qualified, because they are mandated by law to do that and to determine if they make a decision that yes, they are satisfied that you are a Gambian, then you get a passport. If they don't, then you are rejected and you don't get the passport. And I have no doubt that they have the required training and competence to do that determination. Our role is not on that level. The government maintains the supreme responsibility of determining who is eligible and who is not eligible. And that task is the role of the immigration department. And they are everywhere, in every center that this service is being extended. Okay,
as the head of the team, how happy are you for the commitment of your team members who are issuing biometric passport to the Gambians, both immigration officers and the African teams? How happy are you?
Well, first of all, I'm not sure whether you can call me the head of the team. We are collaborating. I head Africa, and our role is very clear, and that is the design, production of the biometric passport, and to ensure that this passport, this Gambian passport, this Gambian biometric passport is complying with the standards set by ICAO. We ensure that the passport is according to standards. Now, the immigration department are responsible for ensuring or determining eligibility of Gambians. So we are collaborating, and we are partners in this. So I see ourselves as partners. So, but I'm happy as far as the role of Africa is concerned, and what I have observed also from them as their partner, I'm also happy with their role and the job they are doing.
Okay. Do you think at the end of the day, Gambians in the diaspora will not be disappointed about this issue? You think all of them are going to receive their passport on time? There will be no delays, or none of them will complain that I don't have my passport after enrollment?
No, I mean, regarding the time frame, it was carefully calculated, because when we are doing the enrollment here, the data is online directly to Banjul. So we can be here today, enroll you, and the passport is printed tomorrow, because it's online, right? We are connected to our system, to our database. So that process is not a problem. The next stage, of course, is the delivery process, which we don't do. We go to DHL or Red Coat or other, agencies, and we give them the passports, we pay, and they send it to the center where the enrollment was done. For instance, all the passports, all the people enrolled in Milan, we will make sure that the passports reach Milan within 10 days, maximum 2 weeks. Now, when it reaches Milan, the center calls, because we have a register, they call all the people who were enrolled that your passports are here. So you either go to Milan and pick it up, or you ask them to mail it to you and you get it at your address.
Okay.
That process is beyond our control.
Okay.
But we will make sure that within 10 days, 2 weeks, the passports reach the center where you were enrolled.
Okay. Thank you so much. And what is your final advice or to the Gambians in the diaspora, especially the young ones, as long as biometric passport enrollment is concerned?
Well, just to assure them that we are committed as a company, and we have no doubt to the commitment of the government, and together we have one objective, and that is to ensure that Gambians in the diaspora also have access to this service, have access to the biometric passport, which they need. So I don't have any doubt. My advice to them would be to come forward.
Okay.
To come forward and acquire the biometric passport, because that is the document that is recognized, that is regulated, and that complies with ICAO regulations. Very soon, without a biometric passport, it will be difficult or impossible to cross borders. I know we have the other type of passport called
MRP.
the MRP, and again, that also had its place, because Gambians who couldn't come and we couldn't extend the biometric service had only to rely on the MRP. But now that we are going out with the extension of the biometric service, we would advise everybody to really do whatever it takes to acquire the biometric passport. And I'm talking about eligible Gambians. I mean, if you are not a Gambian and you still think that you can beat the system, you'll find immigration there.
Okay.
But what I can tell them also, if you are not a Gambian and you make a payment and come to the panel and they discover that you are not a Gambian, the payment you have made is not refundable.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Touré, for having you here.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.